Welcome back, boys and girls. Misfits Optic, map number 2. If you guys are just tuning in, well, you missed one hell of a lopsided affair. Misfits losing their map choice, now going to be starting off on the CT side of Optic's pick, Overpass.
And we talked about how this is not really a map that Misfits has toyed around with too much. They've only played it twice, and they've lost it both times. Meanwhile, you look at the core of Optics, a map that they have quite enjoyed for the most part, even against some of the world's elite level teams. So definitely going to be difficult here for Misfits, but not a bad start to this pistol round. Shazam taking out Mixwell right off the bat, but B is pretty wide open here, and they're going to take advantage of that and put the bomb down.
Cheeky little boost to the back wall, not going to pay out here for Misfits, so the bomb will be planted despite that man disadvantage. And it looks like Tarek's going to try to take these fights. He aggresses on in and rush Tarek. They take 2. 4 versus 3 advantage to the Optic side. Now Shazam's coming in though, quickly popping the head of Tarek, and he doubles onto Nafly. So a nice little retake attempt pushing forward. It's just down to Rush, playing from inside the water. He too dealt with as Misfits hit the retake and find the opening pistol.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell that by design they were looking to play retake B the entire time. You know, just kind of really focusing more on putting pressure on Fountain and middle, and then having just kind of a boost, just to kind of spot what was going on in B, and then just play for the retake. And they do that to great success as they will take the first round. So there you have it.
Immediate buy-in here for the CTs. So again, we find Misfits off to a good start, but we have to keep in mind that they were up 6-0 on the CT side of their Inferno, or T side rather, before we saw anything out of Optic. So let's not get ahead of ourselves, although they will have that double M4 triple UMP coming into this one. Relic's immediately going for a fight towards Fountain, but he's blinded up straight out the get-go. And as he falls back into Connector, he'll make contact with Mixwell, sectioning off that side of the push, leaving Optic with 4 guys from Fountain.
So again, early picks here from Misfits, and a lot of damage dealt as well. Naf down to 4 HP. A little bit of a boost going on here. Sort of, I guess.
Boosts on Overpass are just so plentiful.
There's no other map that even comes close. I'd even venture a guess that if you combine all the boosts from the rest of the map pool, Overpass still might have more boost than the entire map pool combined.
Sean Gare's creeping up long A. 6 still towards bottom of Connector, but it's Shazam to hear a lot of players moving forward. He immediately dispatches 1, 2, nearly 3. Nafly will survive until Sean Gares turns back round. Tarek is able to find the plant, however, so Optic walking away not empty-handed.
So, again, Misfits taking care of business in the second round, not falling prey to any type of force buy or anything like that. But they have conceded 2 bomb plants, and that means Optic has a ton of cash to go ahead and buy up early in this third round.
The AK's across the board. Jason not going to buy the glass cannon, I'd presume. WMP still moving forward for Misfits, and the Ump's not a bad gun here on Overpass, seeing as you can use the rotations to the bomb sites to really cut off that long range of engagement. Shazam will have the only op moving forward. It's the 5 AKs for Optic, but another push from Misfits towards Fountain.
Yeah, Red's looking to get the Connector as well. Put this up to close range. Again, the ops can be quite dangerous, and getting them up close is definitely one of the better ways to put them to use. We're looking to just try to control the A side of the map around these smokes.
We got short water in control of Optic. 2 players pushed in this direction. Tarek on the other side of the door as well, just trying to clear out Connector. But it will be Shazam to take the opening frag. He's able to catch Mixwell towards Playground, and it's a boost that nearly costs Jason his life. Relic's going to double down here to the favor of Misfits, and this shuts down Optic everywhere except towards B.
Yeah, but they're basically trapped into attacking B and at a disadvantage as well. I mean, you already have Shazam rotating. You have Marlon Shanga's already here. You have, Relics in quick position to flank through Connector. This is pretty doom and gloom for Optic.
We're going to have Sean Gares and Shazam over back towards Graffiti. All three players from Optic have made their way out Monster, so they could contest the bomb site, but Marv's up close and personal with this UMP, and he spots the head of Jason R. The bomb's going to be attempted to plant inside of the smoke itself. Sean Gare's boosted over, deals with 2. The planter's still standing as Naf finds 2 frags to his name. Relics finally trading it back, and Misfits finding themselves the defuse in round number 3. So the early buy from Optic not going to pan out, although they do find 2 frags and a plant to boot.
Yeah, so with the plant and with, you know, a 3-round loss bonus, they're at least going to store up some cash. There is an option to go for something here, but they may just take a save for the next round. That certainly is possible. Maybe you just go like Tech 9 armor or something lighter, or you don't, or you give yourself a chance to win the round, so to speak, but you don't cripple your economy. We'll just have to see what they decide to do. I think the Tech 9 armor makes a lot of sense here.
Looks like that's exactly what they'll go for, and a nice bit of utility.
Absolutely, and they're just going to go into a default setup right now, although they are going to have Mixwell, the one playing outside B. Usually that is Naf. A little bit of a change. Everyone else looking to try to get control of middle and bathroom. Shazam, though, playing forward with the op, looking for a peek at Party. Misses his shot, but again, no harm, no foul. Doesn't take any damage. Able to kind of backpedal now.
Now, Relic's dangerously close to these pistols. He'll have to be cautious, but he does spot the head of Jason R, who's jumping wildly upwards. 4 players close bathroom, still that long lurk inside of short, but Relix is able to get back towards the site, trying to find safety. Relix takes Tarek the first and foremost to fall, Rush trading it back, and Shazam's gonna get caught somewhat out of position here. He's fully blind in the T side, making these pistols work. It's just Sean and 6 still standing, 2 versus 4. The bomb's now doubling back towards the B site, and they'll certainly find it for free.
And really well played with those Tech 9s, getting past all that forward presence over at the A side of the map. Shazam not able to find anything with that op. Relix also falls. No casualties really suffered here, though Sick does get an exit there onto Rush, but of course the round has been won. The good thing about the CT side is they haven't had to do a whole lot of rebuying in these last 3 rounds that they've won, and they're going to hopefully save a couple of rifles, so they'll still be in contention for a full buy next round, not an instant save after a loss, so that will certainly help them.
Sick's gonna find Jason on his exit. That's not the M4 though. Mixwell still standing and exiting out towards Sean Gares, so this could be a kill either way, and it's a knife in the hands of Mixwell that'll cost him his life, the M4, but not the round. Nafly gonna survive, barely, but still moving forward. Optic sneaking in a round that they had no business winning.
Yeah, again, it's one of those situations where it's a really low-risk buy. I mean, you're just getting Tech 9 and armor. You know you're going to have enough money to buy in the next round regardless, and you find a way to make it work for a win. So now look at this. You have full guns across the board, and you're even saving up a little bit of money on some of your players. Particularly Naf, who's at least left with a little bit of money after buying, but they do buy down a lot of utilities, so it leaves that option open as well. So let's see if they can follow that up, because if they can, they would actually force Misfits to save likely, and that could mean a tie game early on. You are going to, again, see a little bit of a default, but Mixwell will take us out towards B instead of the A side of the map, so it's kind of the one difference between their default and what we see right now.
That double op setup, Misfits go for the early peek off of Party, but Shazam now falling back towards bathroom. Doesn't spot anything whatsoever. Optic just more than happy to sit back and attempt to stop any aggression from Misfit. I mean, Misfits do go towards Shortwater. Sean Gare's just going to be prying for information, keeping an eye towards connector door, but not spotting anything whatsoever, as he does have Marv by his side. These 2 players still creeping up, so looks as though they'll want to take the fight out into Monster, but Nafly with the pop flash going to be surprised himself. Here comes the trade attempt from Tarek as he goes wide. He takes down both. Excellent trade frag from Tarek, but he too pressured from that op. Sick falls back, however, giving the man advantage to Optic.
It's okay to let Tarek get 1 kill there, but you really gotta trade him back. Luckily, Sick able to do so. They really should have been able to do it in a way that left them with a man advantage, given how things played out. And so now it's going to be an even 3-on-3. 2 ops in play for Misfits. One of them looking for the peek down monster. It's gonna be Sick. He'll grab it. But now they get the man advantage right back, so they've kind of made up for that debacle over in short. Time is running low, and Optic have to commit to this B bomb site.
Jason's just going to be creeping out for Monster. They do still have a smoke grenade to try and cover that cross. The cross that Sick has his scope trained in on. But it's the creep walk from Jason that allows him to cross. and hit the headshot. Six never sees it coming. Relics, however, drops Rush out of the equation. So a 1-on-2 ensues. Jason R's planted the bomb at the very, very least. Now Misfits have an op in hand. Shazam coming on in. P250 instead, using the sidearm, but Jason makes contact, finds the head to boot. Relics down to 22, and the stand-in comes in with the clutch. Not only creeping that bomb into the site, but cracking the site wide open, and then closing it out as well. Optic now 2-3.
Big clutch there from Jason R. I mean, it looked like Optic were going to have a way with that round after Tarek got those 2 kills in short, but then you saw Misfits kind of bringing it back in, Sick getting some good kills there with the AWP, and so you're thinking, all right, like Misfits, they've got this back in the ballpark, but then Optic's Jason R able to close out a nice 1v2 there, and that's going to force Misfits to save. That means Optic have a great chance of tying this game up. Stack at the B-bomb site here from Misfits. Naf, we'll see if maybe he can sniff that out. Everyone else, again, just really default here from Optic. One of the maps where even in the past they would be a little bit slower compared to maybe some of the other maps in the pool.
I mean, it's fair to say that Overpass is a map where map control is crucial, right? Having your hands on connector and whatnot. So to see them spend some time to, you know, clear this methodically and to clear it safely, I respect that.
Yeah, again, basically there's like 2 things you see a lot on this map. One is this type of default, like a 1-1-3, get control of mid and bathrooms. And then the other is, let's split B really fast. Like that's like the 2 most common things you see on this map. Every now and then you see a new variation. Like I said, what Dupree and KRB do on short for Astralis, for example. We actually saw some of that earlier today as well from Luminosity. So yeah, there's a little bit of stuff here and there. And obviously there's a lot of boost that can happen, a lot of gimmicky stuff. But yeah, the meta of how Overpass is played, almost all teams play it the default way like this.
Now Misfits, having stacked B at the beginning of the round, have transitioned all of their players up towards A. Even Marv joining them. Sean Gare's kind of halfway towards B, at least keeping eyes on it, but Optic have yet to figure this out, and with 25 seconds on the clock, this is going to be chaotic. There's players all over the place here, so the Molotovs are going to be crucial to burn them out. Sick goes wide, Tarek takes the first frag, Rush as well, but it's Tarek who really cleans up shop. Sean Gares to the back of the dumpster, trying to make magic happen, but Tarek's had enough. He takes 4 kills to his name and ties this game 3 apiece.
Then money a little bit low for a couple of Misfits players, but of course they will buy up what they can, but it may limit their utility a bit. We are going to see a lot less nades to do initial pushes, as well as, you know, retakes is going to be a little bit harder as well now if you use the smokes initially to kind of stop pushes. While Optic's sitting pretty when it comes to their money and what they have to work with here. We do see that double push on the short here, and Tarek going to combine that from stairs.
Maxwell dropping 1 though, traded back by Sean, who then sees the presence on short, so he's calling for reinforcements, but Misfits so far elsewhere on the map, inside of Fountain, at the top of Connector. We do start to see Shazam doubling back towards spawn, but it will be Relics with the next kill onto Tarek. Man advantage here to the Misfits' favor. But Jason R, again, just using the same crouch creep into the B-bomb site. Again, we see Shazam going to be standing in the open, and Jason R damn near replicating the last round, but this time Shazam able to connect the shot. Nafly, meanwhile, drops Sean Gares out of the equation. Still 1-man advantage to the Misfits' favor, but there's also a flank from Sick inbound. It gets sniffed out, but that's the bomb drop. Naf trading back and forth, 50 seconds on the clock, and not much health for Relics. Now Shazam's gonna get spotted to the left, and as Nafly goes for the reload, he's so worried about short. Didn't have to be though, as both Misfits players come pushing from Graffiti. They'll take the final frag and put their team back in the lead.
Yeah, unfortunate Jason R doesn't connect that shot, because Shazam had no idea he had crept out, and if he gets that kill, maybe that round goes differently. But in the end, good enough hold there from Misfits, particularly that flank through Monster certainly helped out. And Misfits are going to put another round on the board, so they'll take the lead right back after the tie up from Optic. Optic still able to put together a buy here. 3 AKs, pretty much full utility. There are a couple of Tech 9s in play, so they're a bit lacking on firepower, but not too bad. And they will pick up the pace a little bit here. Looks like they're really coming up quick through Connector, trying to see if they can't close the distance on bathrooms right away. Get some of those close quarters fights with those Tech 9s. Create space early, and so far they've done a good job of already pushing Misfits back into the A-bomb site.
Shazam from the A-bomb site has his scope trained towards long, and that's exactly where Optic are coming from. They're going to transition those players towards bathrooms, however. So standard little A-site split. Going to use the smokes to close the distance. The rotation from Misfits not yet inbound, but it is starting to come now. Lucille Schoengears to the back of Dumpster. One player lingering still towards B, however, as they haven't yet made contact. Smoke fades, allowing for Shazam to scope back in, but if he creeps too far to the right, he will be spotted. Molotov's raining over with smokes as well deployed. Shazam's going to get sectioned off. Still able to stop Rush, though. Nafly trading it back, removing the Opper from the equation. Sean Gares inside the corner takes one. It's Jason R trying to clear the site. It's up to Tarek yet once more, using the sidearm till Marv swings wide. 1v1, 30 seconds on the clock. Mixwell on the site already. Jumped up, scoped in, but Marv has had enough. He hits the headshot. A smidgen of Mixwell's head was visible, and that's all Marv needs to close it up. 2-point lead now to the Misfits' favor.
Yeah, he spotted his head pretty early on, so when he went for the re-peek, he knew exactly where to pre-aim at. And that's a good double kill there from Marv to win the round for his team. Has to stand in. That's the only 2 kills he's had this entire game thus far, so couldn't have come at a better time to maintain Misfits' lead and put Optic onto a force buy situation here with just Tech-9s this time around. No AKs involved, as in the previous round. Misfits starting to get a good rhythm going for themselves here in this first half.
Six going to get dangerously close to the other side of the smoke, just trying to spot out some kind of a booster. Any presence really from Optic. I mean, Optic having all 5 players here to the site with so much utility, they better make sure that they use it on their execution. Already flashes, smokes raining on in, but they've walked right past Six. Six gonna hold his nerve, takes 1-2. Sean Gares with a frag of his own thanks to the boost, but Optic still able to find themselves the plant. The investment in their eyes is worth it. 4 players still standing and more damage to be dealt, but Shazam drops Naf and Mixwell also toppled. Misfits with a very successful retake.
And again, Optic only with Tech-9s to work with, and as you noted, Sick, able to play around that smoke in the sandbags efficiently, get a couple of kills, play it patiently, get the most out of it. So they will increase the lead a bit more. Optic still not able to really get a buy down here, despite the bomb plant in the previous round, because they invested so much to get it. So they are going to have to be real light in this round. That means Misfits can keep building a lead here. And again, on a map that they're not really well known for at all, they're getting a decent CT side going. And that certainly helps given the fact that, you know, Inferno was kind of theirs for the taking, and they really let it slip away.
Shazam doesn't fall for the shoulder peek, but instead connects the shot, so Rush immediately removed here from this round. Optic playing off of the back foot with the pistols and some armor, but it's Shazam to reposition, very dynamically so, and killing Nafly as well. Now Mixwell's been able to find 1 frag and the M4 for his troubles, but already, oh, Tarek with a long-range Deeg, suddenly 3v3.
Yeah, Shazam was really committed to there being a boost on the flower pot, and it just left Tarek the ability to get a cheeky peek there from an angle that was not expected. Get a clean kill, but it has been traded back by Relic, so the main advantage comes back here to Misfits. Bomb down. Tarek does get an op, and Mixwell has an M4 as well, but neither one of them has any armor, and they only have 1 flashbang. So it's still going to be difficult to crack this one open, despite some of the kills they've gotten, some of the guns they've collected. Especially since it stinks that Missile actually has B, but there's just no way for her to get the bomb and get to him with Relics the way he is.
There's really weird positioning going on. I mean, B site's in the hands of Optic. Tarek has his hands on the op. We've got Relic still here towards Party with the bomb down out to bathrooms. There's a lot of just kind of disjointed positions, but Tarek reveals his position and the fact that he spotted Relix. So Relix is going to try to just reel away from this, doesn't want to give himself up. We do see Marv now come from the bomb site and Mixwell as well, rotating from connector. 10 seconds left on the clock means this plant will not happen. At this point, Optic should look to save these guns.
Yeah, it felt like if Optic really wanted any chance of winning that round, Mixwell needed to come off of B earlier to kind of help out Tarek, because there's really no way for Tarek to get the bomb and meet up Mixwell at B. I know there's this temptation, like, okay, I have control of B, can we just try to get back over here with it? But there's just no way for Tarek to do that without assistance. And I think that was really kind of the key to how that really broke down. But nonetheless, we will see Optic getting a lot of damage done in a round where it was very unlikely they would be able to win it. But it's also true that Misfits have won 4 rounds in a row. The last few, they've done pretty clean, so they still store up a good bit of cash.
And of course, it's a shame that Tarek at the end of that last round drops the op, because of course the money's going to hurt. So he buys into this one of the Tech 9 and looks to just barrel forward into Connector, where he meets Relics and his demise. Rush able to trade it back and double down, ripping the head of Marv clean from its shoulders. Optic Gaming with a man advantage and mid control to boot.
So Optic firing right back here at Misfits. It's Shazam left alone here at the A-bomb site with the op to try to hold all the remaining members. Sean Gares and Sick look to just kind of maintain presence over here at B. Naf playing B from way back into T-spawn, basically. Rest just looking to keep exercising control of the safe side of the map, but since they got their initial pick, they've kind of slowed things down. To be fair, is not a bad approach. Just try to work your advantage, see if Misfits are going to scramble.
This is a bit of an off position from Sick just outside the Connector door. Very close and personal to anybody who were to come out of this, but Optic now with 4 players up towards the A site. Nobody really committing as of yet, as Shazam is still looking for some kind of a pick, wants to dwindle their numbers lower before they can close the distance, and the flashbang towards Long could have netted him a frag had Mixwell not been in cover. 30 seconds left over here for Optic. They're going to use some utility to push their way on in. Now this gives a good opportunity for Sick to come in from the back lines. 20 seconds to push forward. Sean to the truck, Shazam in the sight. Fire, smoke, pluming every direction, but a great crossfire here from Sick and Sean. Mixwell brings it back by 10 seconds on the clock. The bomb not in his possession. He's going to get flanked from Chaz, and that'll seal the deal. A lot of damage still dealt there from Optic. They take it just down to Shazam, but another round here in the pocket for Misfits.
Yeah, that flank from Sick was kind of key. Like, it looked like Optic were actually posturing up pretty well on the A side, but Sick is kind of the one who's able to kind of backstab through that and really shut it down. So it is going to be another round to Misfits. That's making it 5 in a row, and that combined with the pistol round victory has allowed them to have a pretty dominant CT side thus far. Optic are really getting into a lot of these force buy situations, and unfortunately for them, they haven't been able to convert very many of them. And they're on it again. I mean, just having to rely on being able to create a lot with just some Tech 9s.
Forward positioning here from Sick, though. He is now on his lonesome. MP9 in hand as Shazam's kind of robbed a little. Mixwell hit through the light pole. Gonna still stay standing. Sick, though, finding one before Rush trades it back. So Jason R and Nafly gonna be joining forces from Connector. And it looks like Optic might just kick things up a notch as they close the distance. Shazam gets shot, tagged slightly with that scout. Smoke start to plume in every which direction. Minute on the clock here as Sean shoots wide. Nafly is going to get hit as well. Shots being missed and still kills going each direction, but ultimately Misfits lock things down. They had the gun advantage, and they played it well.
Misfits keep the streak going and keep building up what is turning into quite the lead. Been approaching double digits before this half is over is looking very likely for Misfits unless Optic can win out from this point forward. And they will have the op back in Mixwell's hands, and he can be very effective on T-sides with it, and they have all the utility they could ever want and all the AKs. So this should be really their best chance at getting around. Again, they've had to do a lot of mixed buying lately because of how things have played out economically, but this is their real chance, I think, their real opportunity to find a round. And they do it as Shazam's looking to get really aggressive up along with this op. Has support as well right nearby.
Mixwell, though, reads it like a book. Shazam the first to fall. That's the op out of the equation, but Sick up close, catching Rush off guard, and the spray nearly taking more. Damage dealt, however, as Optic do find the man advantage. 2 players down to 50. Still plenty of nades to go off of. They've dealt with the op presence, so if they want to, with a minute 10 on the clock, they could still just buy some time. Interestingly, though, as Misfits pushing forward from Shortwater, Nafly's long lurk over towards T-spawn might just pan out.
Oh yeah, this is going to look real good for him. It's one of those rare occasions where CTs actually push Monster, and so Naf's even able to net a free kill, the freest of kills, basically. Sean does push water. He may have heard Tarek running around here in the connector. May have a chance to blindside him, actually.
Oh, Molotov and Flash just trying to keep his attention as the other T's push through monsters. So Sean, while he does get one, is going to get caught mid-rotation. Jason R comes wide, unable to stop Sean from getting into safety. Within the water he stands as he finds another frag. Sean making quick work of this push until finally Naf responds back. But it's Marv's rotation from A site that nets them another frag. 20 seconds on the clock. The Molotov to deny the plant. Naf 1v1. Got himself the smoke and a flash. 10 seconds left. Nafly's not going to be on the site. And there's Marv with a great clutch, just shutting things down.
That's another one for him. He had a 1v2, I think, at the A-bomb site not so long ago, and he gets another one right there. So well played by Marv. Especially the patience not to jump out window. You know, so many young players would have just jumped out. And he actually held his ground and went around the other way, and he gets a nice kill there in the 1v1. Also, got to give some credit to Sean Gayers getting a couple of kills the way that he did, and just buying that time and staying alive for as long as it took to get that rotation in. Certainly deserves his credit as well. The last rounds of the first half, and Optic are running out of chances to put rounds on the board here on the T side. And I feel like they need to get more out of this half.
Marv on top of the barrels, able to find one. The terrorists pushing on in though as Mixwell takes the headshot. It's Sean again, just locking things down, dealing damage until Nafly swings it back. Still a 3v2 to the favor of Misfits, but Sick from the heavens above, trying to find an angle as the smokes plume on the site. This should give cover for the plant, but Nafly's yet to close the distance. It's Rush instead, just clearing short, trying to find an angle. Shazam stops the plant from happening though, and Sick up close inside the water. He drops out of the equation till Relics trades it back. Misfits again with a convincing round.
I mean, at this point, it's turning into quite a dominant map for Misfits, and it's very unexpected given how everything was stacking up. This is the last round of the half. It's the last hope for Optic to put a fourth round on the board. But if not, Misfits will walk away with a 12-3 half, and I think that's plenty for the CT side. More than enough.
One last attempt here for Optic. They're going to come into this one slightly limited in the form of a Tech 9 Galil and lackluster utility. Relic, Shazam, both of which push out towards the bathrooms, but then fall back to the site already. Sick, speaking of already, grabs himself the kill. Nafly the first to fall, and Misfits again finding a man advantage. Relics and Shazam are still over towards Long A. We saw Relics just kind of jump peeking over the dice box, and as he spotted no one towards bathrooms, this is exactly where Optic are creeping in from. So if Optic don't give away this push by making noise or flash or smoke, they could have got it for free. But the footsteps do warn Shazam, who hits himself one shot, looks for more as Mixwell pushes forward. He will take the trade. Relics is going to be sectioned off towards Long A as the rotation rotates in from bathrooms. Here comes the kills, though, as Misfits take two. Mixwell finally bringing one back, and Sick seals the deal. Misfits with a 12-3 half here on Overpass.
That's a big half from Misfits. Definitely not what I expected. Especially whenever you saw Optic getting a few rounds there and they tied it up 3-3, you're thinking, all right, this might be kind of a grind. This might be kind of a back and forth affair. But from that point forward, Misfits just shut out the half with 9 rounds. I mean, great stuff there from them. And it's looking like these teams are going to steal each other's map picks. I mean, when we looked at the pick ban phase, I was thinking to myself, okay, Misfits, you know, pretty good showings on Inferno. Optic, really no history there. Should be good for Misfits. Optic wind up winning it. And then you come over into this game, and you're thinking, all right, Optic have a pretty solid history on Overpass. Misfits don't really play it that much. Okay, this should be, you know, Optic maybe even getting the 2-0 since they upset on Inferno. And then you have this happen where Misfits is up 12-3 at the end of the CT half. So this has definitely been kind of an unpredictable best of 3 thus far.
Yeah, I think it's really just been Misfits kind of showing up here on this map. I mean, everybody really kind of pulling their weight. I think Shazam's op present was a little dominant into this one. I mean, the economy of Optic didn't really allow for Mixwell to have the op maybe as much as he'd like. But also notably, looking at the stats here, I mean, Misfits coming out with 5 clutch rounds, 4 of which belong to Marv.
Yeah, I mean, Marv, I definitely recall 2 of them. The one against Mixwell on the A-bomb site where he popped his head over the box, and then, of course, he had the 1v2 on not too long afterwards. So yeah, definitely some clutch plays, which is great whenever, it's a stand-in last minute being able to do that sort of thing for you. So yeah, props to him.
Now, moving forward, I mean, do we expect Optic to at least put up more of a fight on the CT side? Is there anything that kind of stood out to you that was hindering them, other than, of course, the economy problems in the middle of, like, say, the half? But then towards the end, I think it just got more and more convincing.
Yeah, I mean, it obviously comes down to whether or not Optic even get a chance to have guns in their hands. If they're unable to win
Fair.
the pistol round, then I mean, it's pretty much a done deal anyway. But sure, if they can get it to 12-6 by getting a clean 3-0 start, and they can get their economy going and avoid any type of resets, then yeah, certainly they have the skill to play themselves back into this. I think Mixwell's out can be even more dominant than Shazam's was on the A side of the map if he's hitting his shots. I think he will. And I think that Rush as a rifler over at the B bomb side a lot of the time can put some good holds over there on that side of the map. So they certainly do have the tools to come back into this one if they can get the pistol.
Now, Rush, I mean, having a bit of a lackluster performance here, 9 frags alongside Nafly. But the thing is that Rush was also at the bottom of the scoreboard when Optic picked up Inferno.
Yeah.
So, I mean, notably would be, Nafly has now kind of fallen off a little, and Rush is still kind of struggling to get his feet underneath him.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been a tough day for him. And that stinks because Rush is typically one of the more important riflers on this team, particularly on T side. So definitely hurts not to see him in good shape.
Now, before we start this second half, which is about to come your way, you've got a very quick opportunity to head on over to ibuypower.com/ibuypower or IBP -invite. All the pieces you see scattered around this PC, well, they'll be sent to you inside of the computer, already built, with a glass side too, so that you can admire it from afar. Impress all your friends for absolutely free. Costs you nothing other than time, and you're waiting anyways, so you might as well capitalize on the opportunity. Big thanks to iBuyPower for being our title sponsor, and of course, everybody else included. And an even bigger thank you to each of you at home who've taken the time to tune in.
Been a great tournament. These cups are always really fun. I mean, it's not that time consuming for the teams. It's a good amount of prize money just for a weekend of play from home. And this kind of allows us to kind of see these teams play best of threes, because you don't really see that so much in online play these days.
That is very true, and this is kind of a bit of a different format as far as online is concerned. It's not in your regular season, but instead just kind of compacted into a single
just a straight up
weekend.
bracket, just
Yep. No losers bracket, one chance, leave it all out there. Go big or go home. So into the pistol we go. Misfits looking to close things out after a very convincing CT side. 12-3 the score, and Sean already expending that smoke. Mixwell making contact as Rush and Nap take the opening 2. Mixwell finds the 3rd, but it's Shazam himself to bring it back by 1 as the bomb now just de-escalates the situation. They're not going to keep barreling towards the B-bomb site. They've got themselves a minute 30 on the clock, so instead they'll creep their way towards short, where Tarek holds the line. And the moment Sean comes around the corner, Tarek's going to miss the shot. Now, here comes Jason from the backside. He'll find the headshot, and it's a sandwich inside of the waterworks to give Optic a fighting chance.
That's step 1 on the long list of things that have to happen here for Optic to get back into this game. Winning the pistol certainly checked off, but now you have to check off not getting eco'd. Got to get that clean 3-0 start, get your economy going, especially on that CT side. So we'll have to go up against those ever so troublesome Tech 9s. See how they handle it.
Looks as though Misfits are just going to split themselves up. 2 players towards connector, 2 out towards B, and Sean Gare's just going to lock down the playground. Optic sitting back for the time being. They do have a multitude of SMGs, but also the M4 and the FAMAS if need be. 1 kit as well, so if the sights do fall, they will be sitting fine and dandy. 1 smoke for Sean, though, that could be based off of an execution if he were to so choose. But Misfits just kind of lurking over towards short. They keep 2 players anchored inside of the corner, and it's Tarek kind of making contact towards bathrooms, but no contact made whatsoever as of yet.
Yeah, someone's got to swing around and grab that bomb, though. And if they want to keep... I don't know if it'll be one of these guys pressuring short B who eventually just fall back and grab it and they go A, or maybe someone like Sean Gares will come back around and grab it, and they're actually going to try to do a B split. But it seems like they're just playing it, you know, fairly default, you know, despite the fact they're just on Tech 9. To be fair, they only have one nade. It's a smoke on Sean. But, I mean, at some point, you just got to gather up and hope you can explode with these Tech 9s and get some frags. It looks like B split is going to be where it all unfolds. I think it's just about doing a good job making sure bathrooms is clear so no one has the information that you're doing this, and you kind of hold those A players in place by forcing them back into the site.
Smoke goes out towards the site. That's supposed to cover the plant, but it's Jason to find one frag. Sick trades it back. The MP7 of Nap takes down 2. Rush rotating inwards as well. Shots gonna get the plant in just in the nick of time. And Optic, taking the round, only lose 1 player. So that's a UMP just chucked to the wayside. Optic convert the point. Minimal losses for the most part, but still a success for Misfits.
I mean, they do get that bomb plant, so it certainly will help them out going into this round. I'm not sure if they'll think about upgrading some pistols into this one. Looks like a slight bit. You do see a few P250s come out into play. 1 flash on Sean. I imagine this is just going to be some type of flash push into a site really quick and kind of get this one over with. So Optic really should be getting a 6th round here. You know, relative ease.
P250s across the board for Misfits. Some Kevlar on Sick, and a single flash for Sean. So we see 3 players just barrel through connector, clear that out quickly. Mixwell sees all these heads coming his way. Now Tarek's here still with that ump, so could try his best at milking the cash cow, but no targets present themselves, and instead Misfits are just going to transition towards the B site. Now at this point, Jason's pushed up close and personal, but it's rushed from Graffiti to topple over 3. These anti-eco rounds very quickly found, and that is a 4K for Rush.
So no second bomb plant conceded there from Optic, so no additional funds coming into Misfits, but still plenty to make a buy in this round. And this is what we'll really kind of see where this half is headed. You know, if Optic can actually win straight up gun round and then maybe get the 5-0 star on the half, right? Because you would think Misfits probably save here unless they get a bomb plant.
Optic opting not to invest into full rifles. UMP and MP7 moving forward. Mixwell gets aggressive as well after smoking the back of the T-spawn exit. Misfits very much gearing up towards the A site. I mean, 3 guys coming out long, 2 guys late towards Fountain. We're gonna see actually Naf get caught out with Mixwell by his side. Naf's able to trade the first and doubles down as well. So 1 prong of this assault has been shut out. Nafly's gonna fall back to the site as well in time to contest the push. The Molotov burning to the feet, but Sick the next to fall. Nafly making great work here off of the M4. Bomb will be planted. Shazam and Relics in a 2v3, but Jason R's already here. Nearly stops the plant as Shazam's able to connect the shot. Tarek creeps on by. Enemies behind each other. Oh, they don't even notice as well. Shazam still thinks he's over here.
This could get real interesting here if Tarek can actually get the jump on someone. Maybe even blindside Relics. There it is, the kill, and he knows where Shazam is. Going to be able to jump around and grab that as well, which means Rush will easily be able to get the defuse. That's going to be a 7th round for Optic. With that bomb plant, there is some option to buy here for Misfits still, thanks to that. So we'll see what they decide to do. But meanwhile, Optic have gotten themselves back into contention of this game. That's the big thing. And they did it in a round where they didn't even, you know, really upgrade much. I mean, they kept on to those SMGs in the FAMAS, and that means that they're able to get an op in Mixwell's hands. And I mean, look at this. He's still got almost 6,000, and you got Rush sitting there just under 10K. So they have money for the future as well, even if this round goes awry.
Misfits looking to pick up the pace here as they start heading towards the B site. 4 players already, 3 of which through Monster. Now Sean Gares is all the way in the back line, setting up his nades. Rush to the barrels. Jason on the water side. And Misfits inbound. Shazam gonna take first contact, but Rush takes the first frag. Now it's up to Rush to find more, and the Wild Spray takes the head of Relic. Shazam trades it back, but the op of Mixwell finding shots connected. The Molotov towards the site is gonna be extinguished, so the bomb is planted as Shazam finds yet another. Sean Gares to do the same. And into the 1v1 we go. Tarek spots him out, and Tarek jumps down to the water. Frag to follow suit, and the wide peak punished. Sean Gares closes the round, and Misfits on 13.
It's like Tarek guessed wrong every single time in that 1v1. They hit the wrong spot, peeked the wrong spot, just unfortunate. You know, those 1v1s are always very tricky to play. Never really quite know where you're going to get peeked from or where they might go, if you're dating or land or not. So we are going to see it. 13-7 for Misfits. That's kind of a huge blow to Optic. Again, they did have enough money to get a full buy into this round, so it's not as if they're completely out of it yet. But if you lose this one, Misfits almost get map point for free, because then you're now out of cash. Only a 2-round loss bonus. So this is a big round for Optic to stay in this map. They need to come away with this one cleanly. So we're going to see Misfits just open up very default.
I mean, Misfits, they're even leaving the bomb back towards Playground, so clearly they're not looking to commit to anything just as of yet, but instead prying for some kind of an opening in which they can play off of.
Forward presence by Optic Gaming inside the bathrooms, but they will be fading back now. Mixwell hanging around. Let's see if he can't catch someone. Oh, he just spot Sean Gare's head, but he wasn't scoped in. Trying to see if maybe he can pick it out through the smoke.
Oh, so many missed opportunities, but very close ones at that. I mean, the unscope at the worst possible time, seeing a sliver of Shazam as he sneaks by. Tarek's going to join forces, though. Mixwell takes long A instead, seeing as he saw that player move forward.
He's got a little information out of that, and he stayed alive. That's the big thing. At least he gets back into the site, keeps that off around to have an impact later. But Tarek tries to make a play in a smoke in restrooms, and that does not work out. And all of a sudden, Misfits have an edge. A really big round.
Nafly's going to get into the corner. Mixwell hiding behind Optimus, but Sick creeping his way on in, completely blind. Rush drops Marv. That's towards the B site. So now Misfits are just going to have to put it all on the line here as they go wide. Naf takes the headshot, looking for more. He'll follow suit, and Optic lock things out. 4 players standing, and the entirety of Misfits shut down at the gates of the A-bomb site.
Got a little bit dicey there, the way things were playing out, especially when Tarek goes down. If Misfits get a real early advantage there. Even the timing of Mixwell pulling that flash out from Optimus was a little bit scary, but they get the job done. They reset Misfits' economy. They have a great chance to go ahead and get a 9th round in a situation where Misfits don't really have much to work with. I mean, 2 of the guys are just on Glocks, for example, so it really should be one of those clean victories for Optic.
I mean, if winning the pistol was step 1, converting the points was step 2, and now resetting Misfits could be arguably the 3rd one. This is going to give them a very good chance to put more rounds on the board. This is going to give them a chance to start building their own economy, seeing as it was bottomed out thanks to Misfits. This is their chance. I mean, comebacks happen, and this one looks possible.
Derek going to get an SMG to try to form this. He's looking to get the opportunity to put it to use as B's the ground that's being tested.
Nafly making quick work of the remaining players as well. Relic's the last to stand, so 4 players moving forward here for Optic. That's a great round for their economy.
There you have it, 13-9. The comeback dream is certainly becoming a reality. It's have a decision to make here, really. I mean, do you save another round just to make sure you can get an op and full utility and everything you want to work around, you know, exactly to your normal specifications, or do you go for a lighter buy, you know, and go for this one here? You know, that's the question you have to ask. I mean, they certainly have the breathing room to take another save. I think in a round like this one, maybe you just go Tech 9 armor, a couple of flashes or something. You know, that way you give yourself a chance to win the round. You know, you can close the distance. You can try to put those Tech 9s to use and win a round. And then you still have a full buy in the next round. You don't really hinder yourself in that way. So it looks like that's the decision they're taking in this timeout.
You know, I mean, while the score sits at 13-9, it's pretty wild to think that of those 13 rounds, 7 of them all come off of clutches. 1vx situations. So more than half of the victories they've been able to put on the board have really come down to the wire. Which, if you take that into consideration, could be arguably Optic maybe closer than what the scoreline shows, you know? This is now getting a little hairy if you're on the sides of Misfits. I mean, they're going to come into this round with Tech 9s currently, what they're buying. Some bits of Kevlar and a smoke double flash for Sean. So they're just going to go for one of those quick little nade sets into a site, look for the bomb plant, maybe some frags, presumably trying to overwhelm the B bomb site. I'd argue that would be the easier take of the two. Yep. And then again, they've been locked out from A every time they try to get in that direction. So Misfits kind of slowing down here.
Absolutely. The other option is to just come quick through connector with the Tech 9s and try to get a close fight on someone playing forward on restrooms or middle. We do know that Optic have been getting pretty aggressive towards an area of the map early on, and a lot of CT teams do. So that's another option. But yeah, short B pushes or something like that with the proper smoke and flashes certainly can be another way to kind of guarantee a bomb plant and perhaps, you know, even win the round if you get the right frags on your entry. And it looks like B will be the choice.
Early grenade usage, trying to convince Misfits to go elsewhere, or at least to slow them down. Frag grenade does hit though, Sean down to 26, sitting on 3/4 of his health, and more fire pluming on the site. But Shazam up close drops Rush first and foremost. Mixwell and Tarek, they take 4, and Marv, now the last man standing. Nafly from afar uses the M4 to his strength, and that's now double digits for both teams.
And it's really good that Optic were able to spot that because they boosted, so they knew exactly what was going on. They were able to get those counter incendiaries out on sandbags and on Monster to slow things down, force, you know, Misfits to take damage, and give themselves more time to rotate players to deal with that push, and they're able to clean it up, you know, relatively easily. So now it's 13-10. It's back onto a full buy. Shazam will have the op in his hands once more, so we'll see what he can do with it. There is going to be some aggression here at Party from Tarek. Trying to play around that smoke, but backs off pretty quickly.
Look at the op of Shazam trying to pry for a pick here. Nobody presenting themselves, although we have seen Optic play within bathrooms quite frequently. Most notably, Tarek had been trying to, you know, get around those smoke grenades with the support of his op behind him. And this time it will be Tarek and Naf up here towards the A site, but both of which are standing over towards long.
Fairly default with the exception of where the bomb is at and the fact that they are doubling up in the connector here. We do see Optic with a slight lean towards the B side of the map. Eric, though, still holding a pretty forward position here on restrooms. Of course, Naf also, you know, really trying to kind of keep a peek here on long. But that means that middle is wide open, and they can just get bypassed, basically, by the men over at Misfits. But it also gives them a flank if they keep pushing through. So this is going to get kind of crazy.
Meanwhile, Misfits not all the way pushing through bathrooms. Instead, still putting 2 guys down towards short. So going to be Tarek with the trigger discipline. Spots the head of Shaz. He's had enough. Takes the frag. Molotov to follow suit. The wide peek from Relics punished as well. This is Optic across the kill feed. 5 frags to their favor, none of which for Misfits. Tarek with an excellent 3K there. That long push worked out perfectly.
And there was a lot of suspense in that, though, because, again, if Misfits at any point decides to just go ahead and get aggressive on bathrooms and start pushing into the A bomb site, then they just bypass all of that pressure at long A. But because they sat around, Optic got the chance to do a flanking maneuver, and it wound up just blowing up in Misfits' face as a team that likes to take it slow, that they kind of got caught for. But again, you very rarely see pushes like that all the way down, you know, long A. So understandable they wouldn't pick up on that right away. And now it's 13-11. Another situation where Misfits are just on Tech 9s. Mixel getting aggressive with that op, and connector does hit Marv through the wall. So doesn't get a frag, but does a lot of damage. Takes a little bit himself, but not too much.
Tarek lingering here towards the washrooms, dealing damage to Relics as well. So 2 players heavily tagged on the Misfits side. The third now fallen. Sick, the first to die. The frag grenade follows suit and damn near finds another frag, but for the time being, we'll stay at the 4 versus 5. And Misfits still with enough utility to go for an execution, but unfortunately for them, they're outnumbered and certainly outgunned.
With 2 of them down, just bleeding out at this point. So not going to take much to put those 2 players down. So they really have to come up with a clean duel, really get the jump on whoever they face next. Eric just holding the angle here aggressively. Has a little bit of support inside the site. Nades are coming, so now he knows what's up. He's going to hug this corner. He's going to line them up nice and easy for the 3 kills.
Sean, though, oh my goodness. All 3 kills, not only trading to Tarek, but the 2 headshots to follow suit. And he gets his hands on the AK. Now, he doesn't have Kevlar, but he's already done great work in this round. The bomb plant would just be icing on the cake, or the clutch would be the miraculous play here. Bomb's gone down on the truck itself. Jason R spots him out, but Rush able to deal with the threat. I really kind of counted Sean out there, and he nearly made me eat my words. Optic going to finalize the round, get themselves to 12, now 1 round short of Misfits. This comeback dust has somehow happened, but Sean at least makes that one costly.
Yeah, that second kill he got with the Tech 9 was nuts. Like, I don't know how he pulled that one off, but he does, and he gets a plant, and he gives his team a little bit of extra cash to work with. But yes, Optic has certainly marched this one back. Only forfeited 1 round in this entire half, and they've won the last 5 rounds in a row now. Really starting to see some form come out of their players. Naf up there, Rush is really recovered well. He's at 21-21. Think about where he was sitting before this half started, so he's really come around on the CT side. Tarek's been huge, playing aggressively on this A side of the map as well. So they have an opportunity to tie this thing up. Aggressive presence here at Connector. Mixwell with the op, watching Fountain, washrooms. It's definitely an A split, so this aggressive positioning could work out for Optic.
Mixwell's going to section off one angle as well, so he can give his attention towards long A. The bottom of Connector now sprays away. Sick trading back and forth, but Tarek comes out on top. And Mixwell, meanwhile, is going to try to rotate back to the site before Misfits can arrive. The AWP behind the boxes as the Molotov pops, that's going to force them back. It sections off Relics, who's then toppled over. The AWP connects. A minute on the clock here for Misfits to play off of a 2 versus 4. They've been convinced to fall back, and at this point, with the rotation from Optic towards the A site, Misfits' options are open.
Yeah, just great situational awareness there from Mixwell to kind of realize that based on what was happening in Connector and based on what he was hearing towards Party, or the lack thereof, that, you know, A bomb site's vulnerable, they could be pushing long. He times that incendiary perfectly. So just great game sense from Mixwell. Good op frag as well. And of course, Naf and Tarek trading 2 for 1 in stairs helps out a ton. And so the tie looking good. Unless Shazam and Sean Gayers can clutch this one up.
Chess is going to connect the headshot. Jason removed. Sean as well. Going to find one. Tarek trades it back, but Sean does the same. So a 1-on-1 is what we're left with. Sean's got the bomb plant, but he goes out towards long A. He has a Molotov as well, and that's going to section off the dumpster. So this forces either Rush to play the long con or wait for the fire to fade. This buys time for Sean to reposition as well. He's going to go all the way back towards bathroom, but a smoke from Rush onto the bomb site might force Sean into the open, and it does. Rush has had enough. He takes himself the final frag, the defuse to follow suit, and Optic tie this up miraculously at 13 apiece.
Should have never gotten that close. I mean, Optic really almost threw that round away. That was a 2v4, I think, for Sean and Shazam. They got it into a 1v1, so definitely a little bit of a mishap from Optic. But of course, you got to give individual effort to Sean. I mean, he's had a couple of clutch situations like that that have, you know, almost gone his way, and that almost worked out again. But unfortunately for them, almost is not enough, as they now have lost 6 in a row. Again, still only have found 1 round this entire half. 12-3 lead is all gone now. It's tied up. Now the attention is actually shifting towards B this time for Misfits. They're going to change it up. I haven't really seen them look this way too much, but now they're trying to see if Shazam can't find the pick, but no one going to peek. There is actually a 3-man stack for Optic this time on B. And look at this push from Tarek. This allows Mixwell even to rotate to B now. What's going to happen between Tarek and Sean Gayers? This is going to be pretty tense. Ouch.
Tarek finds it. That's huge. Not only now have Misfits been figured out, but Optic able to box them in. And at this point, Misfits know. We can see the players starting to rotate back, and even Optic going to have Mixwell re-rotate towards the A site. So because Tarek reveals himself, because Optic have told Misfits they know exactly what's happening, Misfits are going to try to reposition.
Backing up short right now, and Shazam's still over here towards Monster. Mixwell's even rotated back to middle, but they still have that 3-man stack at B.
Rush, though, takes 2. Nap with 1 and a double as well. 3 kills to Rush's name. That B bomb site just on complete lockdown. Again, it is Optic in matter of seconds just closing out these rounds. I mean, we've had these moments where we see Misfits kind of, you know, scuttle back into the gunfights, kind of bring this back into closer situations, but then there's also rounds like that one where Optic convincingly just deny the entry to the site.
And I'll tell you what,
14-13.
One of the trademarks for Optic on this map was the double monster setup that Stanislaw and Rush would do. And you're seeing Jason R slot into Stan's position there perfectly to do the same kind of bait and switch. Let Rush peek sandbags, get a kill, and fall back. And that was really well held. And look at this. Tarek hears everything. And, oh, that's a dink. But he still at least gets the information that there's a lot of numbers coming up long A. Mixwell needs to get there quickly.
Yeah, Nafly from Connector could have chosen to engage, but instead he's going to rotate towards the B site. Six going to push on through the fire and the flames, but Mixwell up close, flanked from behind. Relics and Sean take two, and Jason with Nafly, the only players left here for the Optic Gaming Forces. Bomb to be planted in a 2 versus 5. This has got Misfits written all over it.
They really should be tying this thing up now. Tarek finally gets punished for that aggression at A. And it's just a change of pace from Misfits. That's probably the fastest push we've seen all game from them. So they make it work. Just kind of a change of timing, a change of pace. Catches Optic off guard.
Fire grenade's going to burn Shazam into the open, so Jason's able to take that frag, and slowly but surely we're transitioning back to a 2 versus 3. Turned 1v3. Turned round win for Misfits. 14 apiece. Dust, we are going the distance.
Looking like it. Either someone's going to win in regulation in the closest fashion possible, or an overtime is going to happen. And we haven't had one yet this tournament. Could be the first if this keeps trading back and forth here in the latter stages of the half. But certainly what we've seen most of the time is Optic have been able to find their CT rounds. So Misfits have a lot to prove about their T side if they're really going to win this one.
Tarek's aggression yet again over towards Fountain. This time he chucks a frag grenade out. Doesn't really do much with it. T-side coming out wide. Mixwell trades it back as Tarek's just standing in the open.
I have no idea what he was doing.
Yeah, very over-aggressive in that stance.
Especially when Mixwell has the angle with the op. Just have your faith that Mixwell's going to get the kill and you're going to get a 5-on-4. Maybe just kind of stay in the restrooms. Let Mixwell help you get out of there. But
it's Mixwell who's going to get aggressive now. He's got Naf by his side. Sean Gears is creeping, keeping his eye towards the connector flank. All 4 players for Misfits near this A-site split. Minute on the clock to move forward, and we can see Optic creeping into T-spawn as well, so they're going to know this is exactly what's inbound, but they have to also know Long A has been lost. Big frag for Mixwell. Shuts down Sean Gears. So a single-pronged assault into the A site. This is where another rings out, and it connects as well. Relics to 33 was Mixwell fragging it out. Now it's just down to Shazam. 1 versus 4 as he takes 1 frag, but it's Optic to secure OT.
What a horrible time to get your money reset. This is literally the worst time to have it happen. And so now Misfits allowing Optic to march it back. They finally get around. They give themselves a chance, and then boom, it's Optic map point and series point, and now you have to hope that you can make it work with just Tech 9s. And I have to say that all the 4 spies that they've tried in the past have not been successful. Sure, they got a couple of bomb plants out of them. They've never been able to convert one of these rounds. Had a couple of close calls, don't get me wrong. But now look at Tarek. Tarek trying it again, up to his old antics once more, despite it not working out the last 2 rounds, and again, gets wrecked.
Marv looking for more as well, makes contact versus Mixwell, but Mixwell's just going to fall on back through his teammate's fire after he puts it out with the smoke. We see Optic rotating players towards A, and Misfits just controlling mid for the time being.
Surprised to see him doing that in a round where you know Misfits are going to be in low econ. There was really no one again to kind of bail him out or trade off of him. It was just kind of a solo effort that goes wrongly once again. And that could be big. That could cost you the round and allow Misfits to put this in the OT. May have been an unnecessary risk there. And of course, if he multi-frags, he looks like a hero. But in a situation like that, just, I don't know. Questionable. But we'll see if Optic can still find the round. They still have a presence here at B with 2 players. And Mixwell does get the op frag. He's getting away, so he evens the odds.
Oh, Sean also taking down the op for 2, looking for more as well. Mixwell gonna find the 3rd, just shutting down this B bomb site. 3 frags already, rotation inbound as well, but Shazam still making quick work of this defense. Marv having to clutch big. Smoke grenade to go down on the site. He's only got 20 health to play off of, and he's gonna make a run for the A site.
Not a bad move. He's definitely had good decision making, I feel like, in this series. It's just been sometimes the frags haven't been there. That's why he's had a tough game, but he's definitely made a lot of good calls. Had a lot of clutches, so we'll see. Can he come up with it again? Can he keep Misfits alive and in the OT?
Optic coming in from two directions. Nafly falls. It's just going to take one more. Rush with a huge health advantage and also a smoke, a kit to boot. But Marv looking the wrong direction as Rush gets onto the site. The smoke does plume. Rush is going to get on it. Marv, the bomb's not planted for him, and he's going to give it up. What a way to end this game. Optic take the series after a damn near insurmountable comeback. They somehow make it happen. 16-14 the final score here on Overpass, and 2-0 for the series. Optic managed to clinch.